visit this topic again. It's Nigeria. Nigeria bleeding. Nigeria under serious pressure. Nigeria and Nigerians are in serious pain. Confusion, depression, agony, poverty, lack, almost everything happening at the same time. Then we ask the question, how did we get here and what are we going to do about this? And this is a question at the back of the mind and in the mouth of so many in Nigeria now. So how do we interpret what is happening? It goes beyond the leaders. The problem is systemic, it's endemic. Even if the leadership changes now, the broken system, the damaged system is most likely more than 60% to work to resist that change. And that is why we have to think deeply and work deeply at it from this moment. Remember that when Dangote came on with his refinery, the system fought him because they know that it will bring down the price, the pump price of the petroleum products. They came with different forms of attack. First, they said the products from his refinery are inferior to the imported ones. He had to invite the National Assembly to the refinery in Lagos, and they came and they inspected, they checked, they used the equipment and all various analytical processes, and they're able to prove and show and see that his products are far superior to the imported ones. Why? Because these people that are importing are using it to destroy the economy. There's something they call round tripping and a lot of other things. Maybe they import 1 million tons. They will say they import 3 million tons. They say, and even that million tons, by the time they say they bring it to the dock, they say they discharge it, whereas maybe they didn't discharge anything. The ship will take as if it is sailing off. And because the corruption is endemic, people that we inspect to be sure that the discharges are properly done, they have been bribed off. So they fought him. But he stood his ground and said the change must come. And there are so many other examples in the land. See, when the police system were extorting and harassing and making life difficult for ordinary people they are supposed to protect, called the SARS, the youths cried out and said, this must stop. They didn't do anything. They didn't fight anybody. They just carried placards and say, they carried national flag and say, this, stop it, stop it. This harassment is too much in our fatherland. We cannot go out. We cannot do this. We cannot do that. They will harass them. They will extort them. They will lock them up. They dehumanize them. Say, for what? If they are an offense, do it normally, charge them to court, but they won't do that. They falsify stories, they do a lot of things. They plant a lot of rubbish on the street and they cried out. But the corrupt system that was supporting them, that built them up, what did they do? They even brought out the military and they massacred these children in cold blood. Even some of the government officials got bus, BRT bus, these luxury buses, the big one. They put thugs inside. These bugs now came to antagonize and fight the youths that were demonstrating for good governance. That is how bad the system is. So the structural problems are deep. It's not just individuals now. The structure upon which the country is operating now is deeply corrupt, deeply bastardized. The institutions are weak. The law enforcement is weak. One man now is shouting in Lagos. There's an officer called Adeleke. They start up task force, they just set people up. They harass people anyhow. Carry people anyhow. And there's a mobile court supported by the law, and they'll just be, oh, it's too much. It's too much. His program, his thing is Objective TV. You can check it on YouTube. Then a minister using his power anyhow, oppressing the individual in the society and community. Yeah, somebody say, am I angry? I won't say I'm angry, but I'm pained, I'm hurt, I'm troubled, I'm worried. The pain is deep. You know what brought about this again? A young man, I think he's a Nigerian in Britain. He produced a video. It's something like a documentary on Nigeria. I will try and put it together and put it in my normal video presentation on YouTube. I work on it again tomorrow. I just saw it today. So I need to study it very well. But I'll put it raw so that you see it yourself. He couldn't see anything good about Nigeria and Nigerians again. He said, well, you know that we are not 100% bad, but more than 60%. He said the average Nigerian has been so much oppressed and corrupted that we cannot think straight. Because Nigeria is shithole. He said almost in every country we have Nigerians in prisons there. He said even in a small country that are not comparable to Nigeria in any way, like Niger, Chad, Mali, Burkina Faso. He said many Nigerians are in jail there, either for pimping, for drug, or for 419. That is online scamming. Can you imagine? He said average Nigerian, we don't talk. We talk with our fists and we shout in talking. And there are so many. The picture is terrible. And we are not like that. But this is what has been brought upon us. When you listen to it yourself, you'll be able to judge. So that's why we have to sit down and talk. I said, because like those ones in prison, he said, now, if he were the Prime Minister of Britain, that's why I suspect it's in UK. Say if he were the Prime Minister of UK, he will not allow Nigerians to come into that country again. He said, because we are so, our system has been bastardized that we lack etiquette. Can you imagine? That we lack etiquette, that if we come there, how can we that have come from such a highly corrupted society come into that same society? Are we not going to corrupt it? He said when we get to such environment, we take advantage of the sanity of the environment and see it as weakness and corrupt it and see what we can do to bastardize it. That's the picture it paints of Nigeria. So that's not leadership. It's about the individual. That's why the change has to start with us. Let's tell ourselves the gospel truth. Let the change start from each individual. The bleeding, yes. Yes. What he said is to some extent true. Why? Because psychology supports it. Like the Bible says, affliction, I repeat, affliction makes a wise man mad. I repeat, affliction makes a wise man mad. So if somebody is gentle, but you're going to afflict him, then he will want to fight back for survival. It's either you afflict him to death or he fights back. So we are not fighting for survival. That's what he's saying. So everywhere we go, he said what we do now is that we see what we can do to make money and to buy respect. Now, he's saying that we Nigerians, we don't hand respect, we buy respect because we use the money to buy respect. You can use your money to arrest anybody, to do whatever you like. When you are When the law comes against you, now use it to buy your way out, buy the judges, buy the police officers, then they let you go. And actually, that's what's happening in Nigeria. Here's the question. He said, how many of the corrupt politicians that have been penciled and identified as plundering the economy of the nation have been arrested, prosecuted, and jailed? How many? Very, very few. Maybe 1 in 100 or 1 in 1,000. We saw the story of Yahya Bello, embarrassing the FCC, embarrassing police, embarrassing the courts. The case is still in the cooler there, and the man is going about doing as if he never committed any wrong. And there were documents presented. That is the land in which we live. And there's a man, a politician, when they were looking for one of these terrorist leaders that was declared wanted by the security agencies, he was found in this senior politician's house in the north. So what was done for that senior politician? For harboring a criminal, a wanted criminal, a terrorist, a killer, a murderer? Nothing. And he was still given an official post in the presidency. That is the country. So the long-standing corruption network, even it got worse to the level that even any job vacancy in the management level, that is for graduate level, at any federal ministry, is now for sale. It's not on merit. People that are in charge, they now do networking and say, well, if you want this job, at least somebody give me something in the medical sector. That if you want this job, you pay so million. Somebody that has not got a job to go and look for, to go and borrow. Can you see the insensitivity in the system? To the poor policy that we have in the land. So this means that when we change the leadership, the system will see spoil, make the work of leadership to be not visible. That's why we have to address, as we are looking for change of leadership for the better, we have to at the same time continue to look at the structures with which the leadership will work. So then we have the leadership disconnect. Please, this is Nisinuga reflection. We are on to relationship matters, things that are germane to your joy, to your peace, to your well-being, to your mental health. I'm a professional counselor by training. So, and I studied biochemistry for my first degree. So at times later, I will talk about this use of substance abuse and substance use and damages they do to the body. But now this thing is causing a lot of effect to people's mental health, and that's why we talk about it. So this leadership disconnect is also very heavy in the land. The populace don't trust the leadership again. There is a disconnect. And the leadership is afraid of the populace. Like the governor of Plateau State, he went to the area where the terrorists killed, massacred innocent citizens Sunday night, Palm Sunday. Do you know you have to stay in a armored vehicle to address the people? How do you inspect the damages by staying in an armored vehicle? Because he doesn't trust himself. Because he has no connection with the people. At least they won't lynch him. When they're lynching him, will not get any result. They want a change. They want him to address the system. But he was having one life because Bible like it's James Hadley Chase. He said the guilty are always afraid. And Asium says, an innocent mind fears no accusation. But because they know their hands are not clean, they don't work freely. So the disconnect has to be worked on, has to be worked on. The decision making process, we have to work on it so that when you and I have to vote now, let's make sure we vote. And that's another thing the man said. He said, earlier, I don't have his name. He said, even when we vote criminals into positions of leadership. It's not funny, it's painful, it's sad. But yes, that is what we have on our hands. Because some of these politicians that have been fingered to have done a lot of terrible things to our economy, to our land, they still come again. And the people, as they are celebrated and they are pushed into the office again. And the present president, we know what has been lingering since he was governor of Lagos State about his certificate forgery and so on. That thing is still yet to be settled. Then about his stay in the US, about the issue of drug and the certificate and all those things. Those things are still lingering. But what do we do? That's why this opportunity that we have, we should not let it slide. People should not call us a name that God did not give us. The young man acknowledged that Nigeria is one of the most blessed nations in the world. But somehow, that's what we are trying to identify. What actually went wrong and what can we do? This is not us. This is not us. We have so many fine Nigerians doing finely. But what has happened has happened. The question is not in falling, it's not in failing, but what do you do after you have fallen after you have failed? So this had happened and we are experiencing it. But is there nothing we can do? No, there are lots of things we can do, and that's what we're talking about. So we are now in survival mode economy. People are not just living, people are just trying to survive. And that is why criminality tends to be increasing in the land. We are not supposed to be in survival mode. So the rising cost of living, the youth employment, the insecurity in some regions, in many regions, in many regions of the nation. So by God's grace, we shall overcome, and our story shall be sweet. Please subscribe to my channel, give thumbs up, and share your comments on what you know and you believe can be done. But definitely this bleeding has to stop. Definitely we cannot allow this injustice, this humanity, this stigma, this embarrassing circumstance to continue. We are blessed, we are favored, we are highly intelligent, we are smart, we are highly cultured, we are very hospitable. And that's what the whites took advantage of the first time when they came to Nigeria. We are very accommodating. So let's see what we can do about this. So trust breakdown. So we have to try and build trust back. I can build trust back by being a person of integrity. Be a person of integrity. Be a being of your word. Let's start from our own Jerusalem, from your own area. Whatever work you are doing, whatever role you are playing in the office or in your business line, please do it as justly as you can. So the hard truth, which many try to avoid, is that no country improves by blaming or by complaining, is by doing something. So you and I have to do something. We have to do something. And what can you do is what I've said. Try to be diligent in your work. Try to be faithful in your business. Try to respect other human beings. Try to unite instead of disunite. Don't join people that are sowing hatred. Like I said yesterday, when we were growing up, every tribe we used to interrelate together. We used to interrelate together. When we say an Hausa man, if they teach us their language, they teach at least greetings. Say Sonu, Sonu, Sonu da aiki. Yayade, that is how are you? Just say how are you? And you say Minini, what is it? So we just joke like that. So, but now they are showing enmity, tribal bigotry, religious bigotry, which is what you and I must not allow them to push down our throats anymore. No country improves by blaming or by disunity or by sowing seeds of discord. Let's try and unite. There is more than enough for everybody, but some people are trying to just be selfish, and that's why they are being destructive. But let us arise and tell them enough is enough. So, what you will do? Number one, let's become more politically conscious. Know what's going on around you. When they are saying their damaging statement, damaging campaign, let them know there is a better stuff. In this community, we are one. In this community, we are for development. And when if you are campaigning, when you get there, you do this one, they say, what have you done? Let's have your credentials. Before now, what have you done in your life to help your community in which you have been living? What has been your attitude to people in your neighborhood? Then we do research on them, background check on their personality behavior, on their social behavior, on their humane reasoning, whether the reason or whether this person is a person of respect, he has respect, whether he respects others, or is a snob that because he now wants to become an office holder, is now trying to just play. Like some of them, they are so funny. You see them on the street trying to eat with the ordinary common man, playing with the baby of a street hawker or a market woman. So, and let's demand accountability from every one of them. That's why I said before you come, you just give us your track record of what you've been doing before. How accountable have you been? So then we work on our communities to have a strong defense. Once we are in our communities, it will not be too easy for these politicians to come and cause disruption, though they will use money, divide and rule, Machiavelli principle, to cause disunity. But it's for you and I to tell them no. When we tell them no, they will know that yes, we are in for being, we're in for change. So participate. Like some people say, me, I won't vote, I won't vote. Don't do that. Vote and vote right, and you make sure your vote counts. How do you make sure your vote count? You'll be there when they are doing the counting, and that's what has been. Is the cry is still on that when the vote is done, when the voting is being done, it will be open. Everybody will be seeing it. Ballot box will be where everybody will see, not that they carry it to one corner and stuff it. After the balloting has completed and the time for voting has expired, when the counting is done, we make sure the result is released from the voting center online straight to the collation center. That is electronically, so that there won't be room for manipulation. That is part of what we are campaigning at present. Because when they work on the manual, the experience has shown that they manipulate and you see them tipexing, and you are not supposed to tipex accounting records. You don't tipex or even cancel in accounting records. but they do this one with reckless abandon. So we vote wisely and we join groups that campaign for good governance. Then, final perspective is either we allow the nation to grow, to survive, or to break. But we are working to make sure the nation survive this bleeding. It doesn't die. We make sure that restoration of our sanity, of our dignity is achieved. Nigeria will survive and our story will be sweet. So this is time for our change, not the one politicians talk about, but change for betterment. That now when we get to airports in different countries, they will respect and honor us. Not they will see that yes, things have changed. The way we talk, the way we carry ourselves, the way we relate with others, even in the face of provocation. So they will surprised. Are you truly a Nigerian? I mean, Nigerian, full-blooded Nigerian. What do you expect? They'll be expecting the noisy, the uncouth ones. That's the image of some people. We are not monkeys. We are not fools. We are highly cultured, not Western culture. We are cultured. That is, we are well born. What we call in Yoruba, Omoluabi, that is a child that is born well and well trained and well nurtured by the parents and by the land. So that is who we are, that's what we are. So the narratives that is blowing around is unfortunate. So thank you once again for reflecting with me. Please let me know the countries you are reflecting from. But I'm reflecting from Nigeria. And if you love Nigeria, pray for Nigeria. Like yesterday, we pray for Nigeria. They say we should pray, we pray. But it's walk, watch, and pray. Walk, watch, and pray. We won't just fold our hands. The prayer is to help us. God will give us the wisdom to know what to do, what steps to take, what not to do, who to accommodate, who not to accommodate. We shall pray, our God will hear, and our change will come. Thanks so much for listening. God bless you.